Welcome to this look at a new mod map on Farming Simulator 22 with me, MrSealyp. The Hills of Slovenia returns onto FS22, ported over from FS19 by WhiteBull Modding. 77.81 megabytes download. It does say all objects on the farm are redone with new textures. The previous version had pastures around the map that I think you had to buy. There was a sheep pasture further around, that kind of thing. All the animals are here at the main farm on this particular version. I have to say I do like the stonework and the look of these buildings. These are available. The modder map maker has put them in as mods under build mode, so the various different pens, the farmhouse, there's a hayloft around the back, are all available in the mod hub. In the build mode, under sheds and animal pens and various different things like that, silos. On the subject of silos, you don't start with an actual silo. You do have a silage clamp, you do start with a manure pit, and you start with a hayloft, but you don't start with an actual crop silo itself. If we go through to here, we'll have to look at the map in just a second. Your farmhouse is here, and on New Farmer, you start with a sleep trigger and farmhouse. I'll talk about slot counts in a minute. Farm manager and start from scratch, you don't start with the farmhouse, so you can place one wherever you like. If I go through here, we get to our trigger for sleeping. However, I don't know if there's a wardrobe trigger, but this doorway here, I cannot get through. I've tried crouching, I've tried coming in from... Oh, hang on, I popped through the wall, there we go. Oh no, there isn't a wardrobe, as I say. I thought there might be a wardrobe. I couldn't get through that before. If I get stuck here now, I'm going to be really... There we go. Yeah, it's kind of popped through the wall, so to speak. Now, I don't like to say things like this. It's a little bit like the previous version, I'm going to be honest. It's a tale of two maps. The landscape, the countryside is lovely. It's picturesque, it's beautiful, it really works. It does say on there the map is filled with hills to simulate the reality of Slovenian countryside, and it's lovely. And I love all these buildings, I love the main yard, I love all of it. There are some bits around the map that are a bit clunky here and there, and I've said that on maps before. This one, the previous version, had some clunky bits, and it's the same on this one as well. That's not to say that it detracts too much from the map, I don't think. But anyway, chickens here in the yard. We do have a chicken pen. We'll hold 360 chickens. I'm not sure actually where the egg boxes spawn. I'm assuming that's the feed trough. There's no hazard marked area, unless the feed goes in there and the egg boxes spawn in front, but that would be a bit tricky if you're going to be putting feeding. Maybe they do, that could be the point there. We'll talk about the vehicles and machinery in just a second. To the side here in this building, we've got a sheep pen pasture. This will hold 65. I do like the little tracks that go out and around the buildings, so it makes it drive through, and like I say, it's a lovely looking map, it really is. And that's what that kind of, I don't know, is it a juxtaposition that between the two? It's tricky sometimes to reconcile. Actually, we'll talk about the vehicles and machinery and stuff now. So, slot count on New Farmer is 816, which is not bad. It's a small map, to be fair. On Farm Manager and Start from Scratch, it's 699. But here's the weird thing. On Farm Manager and Start from Scratch, you still start with all the vehicles and machinery and stuff, but you don't start with any of the buildings. If anything, I thought it would be the other way around. If I come over to about here somewhere, might be about here, I'm trying to think, it will look a little bit like this. So yeah, you can get the slot count down. Now if you get rid of all the vehicles as well, you can get the slot down from 816, as it is now, down to 699 on Farm Manager or Start from Scratch. If you set all the vehicles as well, you can get it down to 569. Which gives you so much scope to whatever you want. But I have to say, I do like these buildings. That's not to say you can't replace them and put them on here. So you can see we've got a fair bit of equipment and machinery. What I'm going to do is, rather than walk around, I mean, you can see it all, but we'll have a look in the actual tools vehicles section here. So we go down to what we own. So on the small tractors, we've got a Zator, we've got a Medium, we've got a John Deere and a Massey Ferguson. We've got the top liner harvester, pickup. We've got a Velga trailer, we've got header, we've got a plough, forage wagon, Boss Alpine, we've got windrower, tedder, mowers, only a rear mower on that one. We've got a muck spreader, seeder, power harrow, and we've got a mixer wagon for feed as well. So a fair bit of stuff. We start with 3 tractors on a fairly small map. That's a fair amount to be starting with. And these are kind of dotted around all over the place. Now, if we come over here, we have got the cow barn. The cow barn will hold 80. Trigger's just here, so this will hold 80. What I do like is I'll come alongside here, press circle, that open, the whole side of this opens up. Gives it a really nice, light, open, airy feel to it. There is a straw barn, bale loft, hay loft above it, if you want to call it that. But there's no ladder to get to it, and it looks like that does open. But there's no ladder or anything. I suppose you could stand on a vehicle or a forklift. Or have we got any buyable ladders yet in game? I'm trying to think. That's your cows. Down the side here, and it takes us to a little track that runs round the outside and back onto the main road. We've got our silage clamp. This is modded, put in by the map maker. We've got a manure pit right next to us. Nothing in it at the moment. And then we come up to here, which is the pigs. Pig pen will hold 108. I think it's 108. Yep, 108 pigs. This side one doesn't open on this one. Another thing I will say is, if we go down the side of here, there's all these bales. I did check this with bale spikes. These are decorative. They're not sort of free bales. And here's the hayloft, which is one that's a little bit different to what we've seen before. Putting into the hayloft is done here. I'm not sure where it stores it, whether it piles it up or something. But if you go up the ladder, so we've got a ladder on this bit, which is pretty cool. Up to here, the pipe to take it out, unless it stores it within the planks, I'm assuming it's either going to pile it above or pile it below. But yeah, we've got a hayloft. This will hold 250,000 litres, I think it says on the thing. And then, like I say, it's a lovely looking map. It really is. But you'll see as we go around, there's tracks and stuff everywhere. This is the first time on a map tour for a while. I haven't shown you the map first. I normally kind of jump straight on with that, but I'm really liking this yard. So let's go into this one. This is the map. On New Farmer, you start with the main farmyard, field 1 and 2. The main farmyard will set you back, how much is it? 113 grand for that, which isn't too bad. Field prices are pretty good as well. They're all really small pockets. Obviously, 65 grand for field 10, 9, and a little bit next to it. Then it's not going to break the bank. None of the fields on here. This is a small farming map, and because of the way the terrain is done, it's a challenging map, and that's cool for a small map with very small fields. There is a big challenge to that because of the terrain. We've got some forest areas that you can buy. The periphery of the map, as you can see there, is ludicrously expensive, and I don't think you can use it. I'm sure on the previous version you could get down to here and use the trees. But unless you've got 999,909,000, no, that's even more than that, isn't it? Oh, anyway, a silly amount of money for the periphery. We're going to drive around. We're going to have a look at some of the sell points. I'm probably going to take the pickup. Yeah, we'll grab the pickup. We'll go around. So I've talked about the mods, and like I say, they're in the build mode. Often I show them, but I kind of bounce around through the menus. I mean, we can do. If we go down, I'll show you. We go along to sheds. We've got a shed on the end there. The shelter with back wall. If we go to our silos, you'll see on the end we've got the hayloft, and then there's the silage clamp we've looked at. There's nothing under there. There's farmhouse. The farmhouse is there. And like I said, all these are sellable. If we go, back into build mode and go to demolish, if I want to, I could sell the farmhouse and put a new one in there, or a different sleep trigger, smaller building. All these are sellable if you want to sell them off the start. And then we've got under productions, where are we? Come out of that. Productions, we have got on the end 2 extras. There's a bacon tree and a carpentry and bakery. Bacon tree. It's a tree that you grow bacon on. Bacon tree, did you know that? And then we've got sell points. We've got an additional sell point at Farmers Market, one on the end there. There's nothing under greenhouses, orchards or generators. Animals is where we have got some changes. That's not too bad actually. 80 capacity cow barn for 120 grand. Pretty good. There's no horse one on this. Pigs, we've already seen the pig one, which is only 80 grand. Sheep, no, that's chickens. Sheep, 97 grand, same as that one, but it's just a different design. And the chicken pen, same price as the standard in-game one, but obviously it just fits around the tree. So you can have 360 chickens wandering in the yard. From here then, it's not going to take too long to go on the map because it's a fairly small map. We've got the bakery first of all. If I don't hit that wall. Traffic is a bit unforgiving, I'll be honest. It does honk around the map a bit and it doesn't tend to slow down. So, straight up here first of all we've got the bakery. Nice little pond there for a bit of fishing or whatever you want to do. So the bakery is part of the production chains. Then we're going to head round and there's something I want to show you that's got me a little bit puzzled. So on the map out here to the right there's looks like a placeable area. And I thought, I wonder whether it's a biogas plant, because there's no biogas plant listed on the map, and you've got this massive building here. This massive building isn't showing on the map as a sell point or anything. The corner of the building does say GCHB, which was the grain kind of cooperative Obeleron, which it says on the corner of the building. But if we go onto the map, we'll see we're here. There's nothing on there. And I thought, oh, maybe you need to buy the plot. So if I buy that, and then come down and back up again, still nothing comes up as a sell point on there. So that puzzled me a little bit. That being said about the biogas plant, unless I've already mentioned it, there's no biogas plant on the map to start, so you have to place one if you want to do biogas work. And so yeah, when I said about there's a few clunky bits, and you know there are a few bits like this here. I mean, how you're going to do a transition off the main road up a steep slope like that would be tricky anyway. But there's just a few little bits like that which are completely at odds with the rest of the map. That's, you know, lovely. Carpentry is just here. Production chains. There is a road that runs off down the back there, and there are loads of little roads that just lace across the whole map here. So this one here can run right the way around the back, and there's the forestry here. You can come back up through the forestry. There are fields out the back there, and we're actually going to cut across from carpentry into the middle to where the sell points are here. But yeah, that was one I know on the previous version that was a little bit sharp. Angular is probably the best way. But like I say, those little clunky bits are very few and far between, and I don't think detracts too much. But I know people will mention it, that's the thing. So as we come down into the town, village itself, I need to watch the traffic here because it is bonkers. We've got a cluster of sell points. I'm just going to go to there. So we're off the road. So, this one right here is the, I want to say, supermarket. This is the supermarket sell point. We do have a building next door that looks like a little, but there's no sell point with it. But that said, you could put a sell point in. There are plenty of sell points available. This is the grain mill, so this has been put in as a production chain. Like it's a different building, much different building. If we go over to it and click on it, this is the grain mill production chain, but you can buy it and obviously you can produce your flour and stuff from it. Then if we go across here, we have got around the side of this building here, this is the restaurant sell point, just there. Across the road, we have got a fuel station, but I don't think it's functional. When I went around the map to have a quick look round, I drove up next to the pumps, nothing came up. We start filling, I did do L3 and nothing happened with regard to filling up my my pickup. So yeah, I don't think that gas station is working, which seems odd putting it there and it not, but yeah. From here we go around the back, we've got another cluster of things. Now this one is showing, this is the vehicle workshop or the machinery store, or a vehicle store. The trigger is showing us here on the map, but it's just in there. This is your vehicle store. This is also the reset point. The reset point is just here next to it where the vehicles spawn. But there's no workshop trigger. And I couldn't find a workshop trigger at the main farm either, so vehicle workshop is something you might have to put in. I did have a wander around with my menu open for it, with my help window open, because sometimes there's not one on not showing a disc, but you often find a trigger will pop up, but I haven't found one. So the vehicle workshop is here, sorry, the machinery store is here, but the vehicle workshop isn't. Next to it is the farmer's market, so it's not Johnson's farmer's market, it's just a farmer's market, the one that was shown in the build mode. Then over the back here we've got our livestock market, so buying, selling, loading or unloading. Is it me or does that door seem really small? Is that scaled wrong? Yeah, the doors, they're tiny. I just noticed that. To the side of that, we have got the sell point here, and this is the, what was it called? Livestock Market O'Belleron. That's down as, and that's the sell point. So if we go to our map, so we came from the main farm bakery out there to what that is, I'm not too sure. Carpentry, then back into the town. Grain mill, supermarket, restaurant sell point out there. So as you can see, the trigger there, or what's showing as the trigger there, so it's in a little bit further, it's just over here, it's not right in the entrance. If we click on that one, livestock market O'Belleron, that comes up as a sell point as we go down. I think if we get to, there we go, livestock market O'Belleron, top right. So that's a sell point just there. Yeah, that's, I think that's either sunken into the ground or it's the scale's just off, I think. Anyway, from there, now these little tracks here, one goes off and across, one goes round and joins up with the farm that we're at, round the back of the hayloft, so you can cut across. I mean, there's loads of little cut throughs across the entire map. From here, we'll follow some of this sweeping terrain. This is one of those maps you could get loads of really small tractors, little implements and machineries and stuff, and just have a lovely time. Just go out and, you know, chug around. And I mean, that said, the lower horsepower tractors, when you're taking grains and crops and things to sell, would struggle on some of the hills. So it's that kind of between the two, you know, you're not going to get away with massive machinery, but the smaller stuff may struggle on the steep hillside. So it's an interesting one. Now this is the last of the sell points we're going to be coming to, and this is the one that is showing as the GCHB grain elevator. So this is your sell point just here. So yeah, that other building over the other side, I'm not sure. It's not a remnant from the previous map because the GCHB is only on FS22, isn't it? Because it's O'Belleron. So it's obviously been put in, and then whether they've changed their mind, or it might be in the port over from PC to console, something has gone awry, potentially. So if we go to here, we came back out, up here, down to there, and we are now at the GCHB grain elevator. What I'm going to do is drive back out and just see if we can get onto that bit, because I mean, not that you can do anything about it really, realistically. If you can access that woodland to pay what the periphery's asking is crazy, just to use a bit of woodland. But, and I say, as we go along, look on the front, there's no biogas plant or anything like that. It does give you a bit of scope to then put it in. I know not everyone does biogas work. I've always been very kind of, I'm never sure. I think if a biogas plant is included, I've always been of the opinion it should be free. You should have to pay for it. FS22 kind of changed that a little bit. Is it going to stop me dead in my tracks as we get to the map? Oh no, so we're going right into here. Oh, there we go. There we found the edge. So we're coming in a little way. So yeah, I would say it's not worth buying the periphery. You can't access it or use it. And that's the map. There really isn't really much else to it, you know. There's the bit out around the woodland that I said, more to this, the south, but there's just fields and stuff out there. You can have a bit of a tonk out here, and it is that weird. I mean, like looking out across there, it's lovely. It really is nice. So there we go, the hills of Slovenia. by WhiteBull Modding. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do, thanks for watching.